Hello, I'm Steve Bailey, the NFSP Communications Manager, and welcome to the first episode of our new podcast, The Post Report, Stories from the Post Office Network. The NFSP acts as the voice of the UK postmaster, and part of our ethos is not just to be the postmaster's voice, but also to give them a voice. We want to highlight the great work postmasters do around the United Kingdom. We want to hear all about your communities, but we also want to talk about the challenges and issues you face. In this episode, we travelled to Barnards Green in Worcestershire to speak to postmaster Jenny Cain. Barnards Green is one of the main population areas of Malvern, Worcestershire. It is around 1 mile downhill from Great Malvern, the town's traditional centre. The centre of Barnards Green is marked by the 12 Apostles Island, which is a pear-shaped roundabout in a central shopping area which has around 60 shops and offices, including Barnards Green Post Office. Getting people through the door with the retail side of the post office is of huge importance to Jenny, who had a large batch of handbags arrive recently. They were so popular last time that they sold out within days, and scarves, gloves, hats, and many other items are also available to buy. After working in IT and marketing, Jenny took over as Barnards Green postmaster 9 years ago. Let's talk to her to find out a bit more about what motivated her to become a postmaster, what role the post office plays in the Barnards Green community, and some of the challenges she has faced. Jenny, can you tell me about your background and how long you've been a postmaster and what motivated you to become a postmaster?
Okay, so my background has been IT, marketing, but it's always been something to do with mailing. So I ran a mailing house for many years and I worked for a postcode software company. Bought Barnards Green Post Office 9 years ago, so this is my 10th Christmas. What motivated me? I wanted to be self-employed, wanted to work for myself, fed up with the people who I work for taking away the money and me doing all the work, but I wanted to do something that was a bit more public facing. I had a job that was very insular when I was at home, and this seemed like a really good solution. So yeah, it's kind of gift shop, sweet shop, post office all under one roof, had the toys and now own the real thing.
What role does the post office play in your community?
It's massive. Absolutely massive. We do a lot of community work as a set of traders in Barnards Green, but certainly in terms of friends coming in terms of people coming in just to ask for advice, people using the services. Yeah, we're an essential part of Barnards Green.
How much do you enjoy the role, and what would you say to someone who's thinking of becoming a postmaster?
Bit of a double-edged sword, that one. I love it. I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. I've probably maybe only had 1 or 2 days where I've woken up in the morning and said, no, I don't want to go to work today. So yeah, I do really love what I do. Advice to people who want to become a postmaster: you're never going to make your millions doing it. However, if you want a community-faced role where you're going to be helping people and earning a living at the same time, then yes, it is the way forward, but you do have to meet that with a level of quite good business acumen. You need to be able to talk to people, and you do need to be able to take the ups with the downs as well. So it's something that I would advise people to think very, very carefully about.
What are the main challenges and issues you face?
Okay, so in 9 years of being a postmaster, I have been ram raided. I had a potential gas attack. I have worked through a pandemic and the start of a recession. I still stand there and smile every day. Sometimes it's a bit harder than other days. The challenges in terms of the actual physical post office are just the changes that are happening. The challenges that have gone along the way, sort of the lack of, I'm getting tongue-tied now. If you think about the taking of the benefit system away from us, the taking of services away from us, that is a definite challenge, that one is, because it just means that we worry constantly about footfall and where that footfall is going to come from.
How tough was the COVID period?
COVID wasn't that bad, actually, because for us as postmasters, if we were open, then people wanted to send stuff in the post. If you couldn't see your relatives and you couldn't see your friends, then we put stuff in the post. It was hard in respect that I think we worked harder than people gave us credit for. Certainly from the point of view of, if I had to do it again, I'd probably stay open for longer hours because we were seen as an essential service. And furloughing staff and having to run post offices on our own, which is personally what I did just to keep my staff safe, meant that sort of at the end of the first 10 weeks I felt slightly broken. But I don't look back on it and think, eek, not again. I'd know how to better cope with it the next time round. I don't think anybody had a manual for it, but certainly it was an experience, let's put it that way.
How rewarding is the job though? There must be some feel-good community stories that you can tell.
Massive. We when we were ram raided, it was 7 years ago. We had a massive community outpouring here, and people were very supportive. When we went to Downing Street the other day for the DVLA, the community all come in. They all want to chat. We raise a lot of money for charity here. Everything we do is about knowing people's names. It's about looking after people, and that is so rewarding at the end of the day. And the Christmas, the Christmas drinks and mince pies that people bring us, they're always more than welcome.
Always a bonus.
Always a bonus.
Looking around your store, it's clear that retail's a vital component. What are your best sellers here?
So we have quite a mix here. Cards is really important to us. And I would advise anybody who's doing cards to get a company to manage it for you. We use Nortat, who take up 55% of the card space, but they manage and take care of all the other card companies with us. We do the Pick and Mix sweets jars, which are really good sellers for us, along with boxes of chocolates, but they're certainly the best. But certainly pay attention to your gifts. You are going to make mistakes, but sort of gifts, handbags, candles. We sell a lot of mugs, we sell a lot of coasters, just real kind of pick-me-up stuff, and toys as well. If you haven't got a local toy shop, to be able to sell something like Orchard Toys, which actually as NFSP members we get another discount on top of when we're buying it. But I would definitely say that you need to have a little bit of a mix, and keep trying new ideas. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Where do you get your ideas from?
Pinterest. I visit every time I go somewhere. I go into a gift shop and see if there's anything nice and new and quirky that I like. I don't know, I read magazines. When I go to the supermarket, I might see something. It's just about being aware of what's going on about you, and different, silly things that you see on the news. And the other item that's really important, I think, as well, is to include local people, local artists on cards, calendars. Paintings, that kind of thing. If you can include local artists, people like to buy stuff to send to other people that has that local element in it.
Would your business be able to survive without the retail side of things?
No. Categorically, no. There is no way you could run a mains post office, and we are a busy post office. There is no way I could run this post office just on what post office pay me. It just wouldn't happen.
What would your advice be to a postmaster who maybe doesn't have such a strong retail section?
Get it sorted, because it's you need to look at it as, I tried to flip this one on its head slightly, that this is a shop with a post office in it rather than a post office with a shop in it. Yes, it's branded as a post office outside, but I would like people to think that they can come in here and buy stuff without using the post office. And people do. They look at it as a shop where they know they can go buy a decent card and a gift or a packet of sweets or whatever. But yeah, you need to get it sorted, and you need to flip the way you think about your business, I think.
When you started here, what was the retail side of things like then?
A bit dusty, a bit fussy around the edges, lots of glass cabinets with stuff in it that didn't really sell. Managed to change that round in 3 days and open the following Monday with it looking slightly different. It's a bit of a labour of love, so it's taken a while to get it to this stage, but yeah, I like it.
What about the social media side of things? You've got about 900 followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
How vital is it to be seen on social media to get people through the door as well?
I think you have to from the retail point of view, so that people know what you're selling inside your shop, because very often they'll look at it and go, oh, it's just the post office, and it's about that, going back to that, flipping it on its other side. And if you've got stuff that's quirky, photograph it nicely, and it's important to get it out. So I like to have a mixture of both post office posts about what we're doing, say travel money card sale, or trying to get a bit more banking through the door, or so the next couple of weeks it'll all be about last posting dates, but this week I'll do something about advent calendars, because that obviously is coming up on the Friday, but it needs to be a mixture between retail side of it and what you're doing in the post office, so that people don't get bored, and just make it a little bit quirky. The other element is to belong to local notice boards on social media. So we do a lot through Malvern Hills Display Board. I do Worcestershire Women. So become members of groups that you can then share those posts to, because instead of just the 900 followers, you might have 50,000 people potentially that could see it. And it does work. People do come through my door and say to me, I've seen you on Instagram, I've seen you on Facebook.
I guess that's how you build up your followers as well.
Yes, yeah, because people will come in and they like you. But very often as well, it's good to see people liking you, because very often we're faced with people who criticise us. And there is a big campaign by Post Office at the minute to do Google reviews. However, that tends to drive people who are going to criticise us rather than compliment us. People are very quick to complain, but if you've got lots of followers and lots of likes, it has the opposite effect.
Absolutely. How has the business changed in the time you've been a postmaster?
Massively. So in the space of time that I've been a postmaster, we've obviously lost the DWP payments, we've lost premium bonds, we no longer do home phone broadband. The list is long. Health lottery, all of that. Footfall has dipped. However, we're becoming more of a mail hub, so we do Royal Mail, Amazon and Every, hopefully DPD fairly soon. Sometimes it can be less of a sales job, it's more of a scanning job and a counting job. I'd certainly say we get a somewhat younger audience sometimes because they're doing more home shopping. We don't necessarily see a big percentage of the older community. It's evolved, and I understand businesses do need to evolve. They can't stay the same forever. But it is a very different animal to what it was when I first took over.
What are the main differences, would you say?
I'd say the footfall with regard to the biggest one was losing DWP and not having people through the door to do take their money out, putting it in a bank account. And I definitely say going forward, it probably is the change with the mail hubs. It's learning how to do transactions and stuff that's not just Royal Mail based, and trying to promote that as well, because people obviously associate Royal Mail with Post Office. It's now about saying Amazon and Every and hopefully DPD are available in store.
How do you see the Post Office network developing for tomorrow's customers?
I've got no idea. I know how I'd want to do it, but I don't know of any other business where you can't visibly see a 3 to 5 year rolling plan, and I don't think Post Office have got that. I think it's quite proactive. It's quite reactive rather than proactive. It worries me slightly. It does worry me slightly because I don't know where to take my business, and I'm put under restrictions for not taking on any other carriers, but I'm not given the foresight from our senior management team. So I can't answer that one.
Where would you like your business to be in a couple of years' time?
I'd like to be a multimillionaire, but it's not going to happen. I can't say fairer than that, can I? I'd like to see it grow. I'd certainly say, you asked about COVID. COVID was okay. We've seen it dip. It's starting to level out a little bit more. The only thing I want for my business is to be able to grow it. And there comes a point where you can't grow that within the 4 walls. You have to go out to social media and pull those people in. I think Post Office need to look at doing marketing for footfall to come into the branches. They're very good at producing all the posters and stuff once you're in here, but they're not helping us a great deal in terms of getting people through the front door. That's where I'd like to see them look at it. I'd like to see them also, it's that age-old thing, we need to be paid more, because I'm just about to have to give my staff another 10% pay rise, and that's hard.
And I guess when more and more services are going online as well, that makes things hard. And what's the feedback from your customers regarding that?
They don't like it. They want that face-to-face interaction. They want that ability to be able to ask questions that are not scripted. A lot of them still don't have access to the internet. A lot of them don't want access to the internet. And I think we're finding more and more people actually going, it's all becoming far too big brother. And if we can go and ask somebody, then that's far better than having to put all our details in. And there's the frustration as well. I know I certainly find that if I need to do something that's online and it's starting to frustrate me, in the end, I will just give up and not bother to do it. And I don't want people to be left feeling vulnerable and lonely and that they can't come and ask because DVLA or Passport Office or whoever it happens to be that particular week have put it online. We're isolating so many parts of our community. And certainly the feedback from my customers is you're not closing, are you? You're not closing, because we won't do anything online. So there's definitely a call to keep post offices open and keep it face to face.
How much would Barnards Green miss having a post office?
It's huge here. Post office. We're a high street of independent shops and businesses, and a post office is integral to this high street. Absolutely integral. So no, we can't afford to lose this place.
This interview took place before it was announced DVLA and Post Office had extended their contract. I asked Jenny about how concerning it would have been to lose another service.
Another set of footfall that's going to disappear out the front door. But the other part of that as well is that we're going to be left batting back questions from people who are going online. We get so many people who say they've tried to do it online or over the phone, don't understand it, and are coming into us. I don't want to be presented with a £10 voucher for the next 6 years worth of answering questions on DVLA that I physically can't do anything about because the service has gone online. I find that insulting. But from a customer point of view, they're going to stop coming through my door. So I've got to find something else to replace that with to encourage the footfall. Yeah, it's a massive concern. And what about the few government services that we've got left? You know, the Passport Office contract is up for renewal. I have to question what our government contracts department are actually doing, because we're supposed to be the public face of government, and that is drastically dwindling away.
How was your experience of visiting Downing Street? You were interviewed by BBC TV on the radio. How rewarding was it to see all the hard work you put in pay off with so much coverage?
Oh yeah, no, it was brilliant. It was quite a surreal day. It was a lot of travelling. A lot of chat. It was good. It was good to get the message out there. It was good to finally sort of get from behind the counter and stop moaning about something and actually put your hands up and go, we're doing something about this. And we need more postmasters to do that. We need, when the petitions come round, we need postmasters to put it on the counter. We need people to turn around and say, come on, let's get behind the post office. Otherwise you're going to use us or lose us. But yeah, from the day's point of view, an amazing experience, but let's hope they listen to us in the end.
Absolutely. And finally, you started selling and taking in every parcel.
Yes.
How do you see the parcel business going now?
We need to be open to every single carrier that's out there, I think. There is the potential for us to bring a lot more people through the door that way. So whilst we'll possibly use DVLA and others along the way, if they could concentrate, but get it rolled out quicker and get it rolled out a bit more smoother. There are a lot of sort of blips in the system, but you know, some of it is a little bit complicated, but it's just about getting your head around it, and it's about learning a new system, and we've got to evolve. So if we can become a multifaceted parcel shop, then so be it. If we earn money out of it, then it's got to be a good thing.
Thank you, Jenny. This was a podcast from the NFSP, National Federation of Sub-Postmasters. It was produced by the NFSP Communications team. In future episodes, we will have exclusive interviews with more postmasters. We'll speak to Post Office, who will answer any questions and queries you have, and members of the NFSP will talk about the work we're currently doing and our plans for the future. Are you a postmaster with a story to tell? Are you closely involved with a local event or otherwise active in your community? If so, get in touch and help us tell the story of the role you play or the difference you make to your neighbourhood. Email us on communications@nfsp.org.uk.